start with chapter 2nd. What is democracy? Why democracy? So first we will understand what is democracy, okay? And then we will understand that why do we need democracy. So democracy, what is the meaning of democracy? Anyone? No? No one?
The type of government in which the government is chosen by the public of that country.
Have seen. Anyone else? Anyone knows the Hindi meaning of democracy? Hindi word of democracy? Loktantra. What do we call democracy in Hindi? Loktantra. So, Loktantra. What do you understand by Loktantra? Lok means the people, and Tantra means the rule. The rule. So it comes to the people's rule. The people's rule. So democracy is nothing else but people's rule. In democracy, who rules? The people rule. How? Can we see us ruling? Are we ruling? No. So there is some criteria that how the people will rule. Democracy is for the people. For the people, that is, whatever the representatives are of our country, they are working for us. Okay, they are working for the people. They are making roads, they are making dams, they are making whatever. They are making for the people. By the people, they are chosen by the people. We choose, the adults of our country choose the representatives of our country. So it is by the people. That is, people choose our representatives. The Prime Minister of India, who chose him? The people of India, the adults of India chose him. So by the people, representatives are chosen by the people of India. So for the people, we studied that they are working for us. By the people, that is, we choose them, and of the people, that is, they are from among us. Okay. The Home Minister or the Defense Minister, they are not from outside the country. Na? We didn't brought them from America. We didn't brought them from other countries of Asia. They are from us only. So of the people, they are from among us only. So they are for the people, by the people, and of the people. This is the simple meaning of democracy. We just understood the meaning of democracy. That is, it is people's rule. The people. We see for the people, by the people, and of the people. So whatever is happening for the people. Okay. So we understood the meaning of democracy. Is there any problem? Any confusion? Now we will go towards the definition. After understanding the meaning of democracy, we will go towards the definition. This is the meaning that we studied in class 8, class 7. Now we will go to a higher level of definition. So chapter 1 was cut from your syllabus. We will start with what is democracy. Now see, there is two forms of government. One is non-democratic and one is democratic. To understand the definition, we will start with the forms of government. Okay, first I will tell you what is the form of government. There are two forms of government. One is democratic form of government and the other is non-democratic. In the democratic countries like India and USA also, okay, in which the rule is of people. People do everything. Everything is done for the people. Okay. In non-democratic form of government, there is monarchies. There is military rule. There is one party rule. There is dictatorship. So in non-democratic form, these all come. They are not working for the people. The dictator is working for himself only. He only cares about his benefits. Okay. The monarchies also, they care about their rule. The military rule, they care about the military and the what military will. One party rule in which there is one party, and the people did not get the chance to choose. There is only one party. Like in China, there is only Chinese Communist Party. So that party only rules. They don't have the option that they will choose from BJP or Congress or Aam Aadmi Party. They do not have this option. They have to choose the Communist Party because that's the only option. So non-democratic governments where the people do not have the option, where the government or the people are not working for the people. They are working for themselves. Or they think that they are working for the people, but it is not for the benefit of the people. It is only for making themselves survive. You understand? Non-democratic and democratic, we will understand it more when we will continue with the chapter. So in Chile we saw, like you haven't studied this chapter, I will just give you example from the previous chapter. In Chile there was democracy. Okay, in Chile there was democracy. You don't have to read the chapter. I am just giving you a brief so that you can understand more about the non-democratic government. In Chile there was democracy, but then military rule. There was a military rule. That is, military took over the government. Okay, military took over the government and the military became the leader. The Pinochet, who was the leader of the military, he became the leader of the Chile. Understood? That how Chile came from democracy to being a military form of government. That how it became a dictator. The Pinochet became a dictator. In the other area, the Poland. In Poland, there was only one party system. In one party system, do the people have a choice to choose? No, it's only one party. So in Poland, there was only one party system. That is, it was not a democracy because people didn't have the chance to choose. So this was the situation of Poland or Chile. And you can understand the meaning of democracy. Then only we can move forward with the chapter. So we will move forward with a simple definition of democracy. I told you the meaning of democracy. Now we will understand the simple definition. So what did we see in this? What do we see in this definition? That democracy is a form of government. Okay, it is a form of government in which the rulers or the representatives are elected by the people. Who elects the government? Who elects the representatives? The people elect the representatives. And it is a form of government. It is a type of government. This is a useful starting point. This definition allows us to separate democracy from forms of government that are clearly not democratic. We see that in a dictatorship, the dictator is not chosen by the people. I told you about the definition. Just remember this definition. I hope you understand that democracy is a form of government, a type of government in which the rulers or the representatives are elected or chosen by the people. Okay. So we will move forward to the questions related to that. The features of democracy. This is important topic. From here the chapter starts. The main of the chapter starts. The features of democracy. Democracy, as I just told you the definition, we will understand the form of government. We will understand the rulers or the representatives. We will understand the people, like who chooses them. Okay. So who are the rulers in the definition? We will understand it. Then what kind of election? How they are elected? What kind of election? Then we will understand who are the people who chooses them. Like not all people chooses them, not even the children are going to give the votes. So there are some criteria of elections. There is some criteria of the people that chooses the representatives. Then form of government. We will understand what kind of form of government is democracy. What happens in democracy? Do Modi have all the power? He can do anything? No. That also, the representatives also have in democracy also, in democracy kind of government also, there is some rights that are given to the representatives and that are not given to the representatives. So there are some limits posed on the ruler also, to the representative also. Next topic is, you understand, we will study the 4 features and the 4 things in the definition. The major decisions by elected leaders. We will understand, or we will read the example and we will understand that what decisions by elected, major decisions by elected leaders. So the first question is the rulers. Who are the rulers? So in this we will understand the rulers. Anyone read? Who wants to read?
Major decision by elected leaders. In Pakistan, General Pervez Musharraf led a military coup in October 1999. He overthrew a democratically elected government and declared himself the chief executive of the country. Later, he changed his designation to president, and in 2002, he held a referendum in the country that granted him a 5-year extension. Pakistani media, human rights organizations, and democracy activists said that the referendum was based on malpractices and fraud. In August 2002, he issued a legal framework order that amended the Constitution of Pakistan. According to this order, the President can dismiss the National and Provincial Assemblies. The work of the civilian cabinet is supervised by a National Security Council, which is dominated by military officers. After passing this law,
so here what we see, we are seeing the example of Pakistan. We are seeing the example of Pakistan, that how the leaders are elected or who are the rulers in democracy. In Pakistan, the General Pervez Musharraf, he was led the military coup in October 1999. So what is a military coup? What is a coup? It is a sudden and violent illegal seizure of the power from the government. So illegally somebody is taking the power from the government. In military coup, the Pervez Musharraf in October 1999, he overthrew a democratically elected government and declared himself the chief executive of the country. So in Pakistan, General Pervez Musharraf led a military coup in October 1999 and he abolished or overthrew the democratically elected government that was elected at that time. And he declared himself as the chief executive of the country. Later on, he changed his position from the chief executive to president, so that he can make himself look more of a democracy, so that he can make the Pakistan looks like a democracy. Okay. So he changed his designation from chief executive to president. In 2002, he held a referendum in the country that granted him a 5-year extension. What's a referendum? Anyone knows?
a type of election.
In an election, a person is chosen, a representative is chosen. So referendum is not an election. Okay? Referendum is a direct vote by the general public or the general vote by the people on a single political question. Like there was a referendum done in Great Britain some time ago only, that should we leave the European Union or should we not? So that's a political question, that we should do this or we shouldn't. So all of the people of the country, all of the other people of the country voted on yes or no. In elections, the representatives are chosen, but in a referendum, a question is being asked from the government or from some organization to the people. Here also, the referendum was held by the General Pervez Musharraf that the power of Musharraf should be extended for 5 years more. In 2002, the referendum happened that should the power of Musharraf extend for 5 years, and the result was yes. That yes, the power should be extended for Musharraf. The Pakistani media, human rights organizations, and democracy activists said that the referendum was based on malpractices and fraud. Of course, who will want? Will you all want a government where you will not have any rights? No, you will not have the rights to come to school, or you will anyone could be killed at any time by a single order of the dictator. No, we won't want to live in such a society. Okay, in such a community. So here also the activists and the legal rights or the human rights organizations, democracy activists said that the referendum was fraud, that there were wrong votes given in the referendum. In August 2002, what did we do? Understand the topic by making a chart or some kind of thing, so that you remember the time period as well as you remember the whole story. So in August 2002, he issued a legal framework order. He issued a legal framework, like, and amended the constitution. He changed the constitution. He brought a new concept in the constitution of Pakistan. The legal framework. What is the legal framework? The framework of the constitution. the framework of the constitution. He amended the legal framework of the constitution. According to this order, the president can dismiss. The president can dismiss. Who is the president? Musharraf is the president. So he will do whatever to increase his power. So the president, or we can just say the General Pervez Musharraf can now, according to this order, the president can dismiss the National Provisional Assemblies. He can now dismiss the National and Provisional Assemblies. Anyone knows about the National and Provisional Assemblies? What are the National Assemblies? What are the Provisional Assemblies? Yes, very good. Lok Sabha is a national or provisional? Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha are national or provisional? They are national because they are for the nation. Huh? They are national because they are for the nation. So, National Assemblies or the Parliament is Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So, these are the National Assemblies. The Provisional Assemblies or the State Assemblies are the Vidhan Sabhas, the Vidhan Parishads. Those are the Vidhan Sabhas and Vidhan Parishads are the Provisional Assemblies. So, he said that the president can dismiss the National Assemblies and the Provisional Assemblies. So, if the president can dismiss, for example, take the example of India. If the president can dismiss the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, who will run the country? Because Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha pass the laws, na? Kind of they run the country. Because Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they have the right to pass any law, to pass the budget even. So that is all the rights are given to the president. Whenever they want, whenever the president wants, they will dismiss it. All the power will come to the president. And if the Lok Sabha is dismissed, that is the Prime Minister will also be dismissed. Because the Prime Minister is a part of Lok Sabha. The Council of Ministers is a part of Lok Sabha. We saw that Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha is there. He can dismiss it, but now he has to first make it to dismiss. As simple as that. So Lok Sabha has the civilian cabinet. Like the Home Minister, Defence Minister, Prime Minister, the Human Resource Minister, the Education Minister. Everyone comes under the Council of Ministers or Ministers. Okay. So civilian cabinet is in Lok Sabha. Civilian cabinet, senior government officers chosen and led by the people. Okay. There are senior. They are all government officials. They are working for the government or they are the government itself. So they are senior government officials who are, civilian cabinet is always run by the Prime Minister. Who is the head of Defence Minister and Home Minister? Them. So civilian cabinet, the head of civilian cabinet is Prime Minister and the cabinet ministers are chosen by the Prime Minister. So Lok Sabha has it. Now, after passing the work of the civilian cabinet is supervised by the. In Pakistan, what happened? In India, it is not so. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are different entities and they are independent entities. In Pakistan, what happened? The General Pervez Musharraf made a national security council, which dominated by military officers. And Pervez Musharraf was the general of the military. So the National Security Council was also led by the military officials and it looked over the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. If it felt like the civilian, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha is the example of India, we can just erase it and we can directly say that is the civilian cabinet. Okay, so National Security Council was looking over the civilian cabinet. If the National Security Council feels like the civilian cabinet is becoming a threat for us, that the civilian cabinet is not taking the orders from us and doing whatever it wants, the National Security Council overheads the civilian cabinet and can dismiss it. Okay, dismiss it with the help of the president. So the National Security Council, which is dominated by the military officers, supervise or look after the civilian cabinet. Like the Lok Sabha works as an independent entity. Here the civilian cabinet was not an independent entity. It was looked over by the National Security Council. Yes?
It is against basic rights.
All dictators are against basic rights. So you understand this? That civilian cabinet, or we can say the Council of Ministers, were headed by the National Security Council. Now they made the law. They made that whatever happened, the president can dismiss it. the National Security Council will overlook it. Now they conducted the elections. Now they felt that we are safe. We will be able to control them now. Then they conducted the elections. After passing this law, elections were held to the National and Provisional Assemblies. Now they held elections for the National Assemblies and Provisional Assemblies. Now they said that yes, people, you can choose the leaders. That now you can choose the leaders and we will call our country a democratic country. Because you are choosing, but who has the utmost power? Who has the power?
President.
The president or the Musharraf has the power. Here in Pakistan, the Parvez Musharraf has the power. Yes, the National Assemblies and the Provisional Assemblies are chosen by the people, but the president can dismiss them at any moment of time. The National Security Council looks over the National Assemblies and Provisional Assemblies. And National Security Council is chosen by the president. The people are not choosing it now. The people are not choosing the president. Clearly, there are many reasons why Pakistan under General Musharraf should not be called a democracy. We cannot call it a democracy. National Assemblies and Provisional Assemblies are chosen by the people. We still cannot call it a democracy. But let us focus on one of these. Can we say that the rulers are elected by the people in Pakistan? Who is the ruler? The Musharraf is the ruler. Can we say it is elected by the people? Not quite. People may have elected their representatives to the National Provisional Assemblies, but those elected representatives were not really the rulers. They are chosen by the people, but they are not the rulers. They do not have their own rights to make a major change. They cannot take the final decision. For the final decision, it will go to the president. The power to take final decision rested with army officials and with General Musharraf, and none of them were elected by the people. So who takes the final decision? The army officials. The army officials consisted the National Security Council or the other army officials that were in power, and the final decision either they take it or the president. This happens in many dictatorship and monarchy. This happens in many dictatorships. They formally have an elected parliament and government, but the real power is in the hands of who are not elected. So they are elected by the people, but the final power is in the hands of president. In a democracy, the final decision-making power must rest with those elected by the people. So the first feature in this topic, what we saw, the final power is in the hands of, the final power should be in the hands of the people, elected by the people. The final power should be in the hands of the rulers or the representatives, elected by the people. Then only it can be a democracy, elected by the people. When can we call a country a democratic country? When the rulers or representatives are elected by the people. Here we saw the ruler was not elected by the people, that's why we didn't call it a democracy. Okay, this example tells us this.